In this particular story, it kind of seems like the police were hanging on to the outdated dogma from the 1970s and the 1980s that said that people did not go missing, they just ran away. A theory that has been proven wrong in so many other cases. And in fact, it is untrue in this case, and a much bigger mystery does loom overhead. But before we get started, I'm going to ask you to lightly knock the dust off the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more Oregon stories and adventures just like this one. On February 10, 1990, Martha Lavonne Benthin Evans attended a wedding reception at the Lager restaurant in Napa, Oregon, approximately 80 miles west of Portland. The 32-year-old divorced mother of 2 children was the second oldest of 8 siblings. During the wedding, her son was with Martha's mother and her daughter was with her ex-husband. Martha, known by family and friends as Marty, was a bridesmaid for her best friend's wedding. During the reception, she locked her purse in the trunk of the bride's car. Friends said Marty seemed upset about something during both the wedding ceremony and the reception. Earlier in the evening, she had been at her mother's house talking on the phone to her ex-husband and another man she was hoping to start dating. Around 9:30 p.m., Marty left the Lager to meet with her sister at another restaurant in Astoria, Oregon. Still wearing her bridesmaid's dress and leaving her purse locked in the trunk of the bride's car, she grabbed a leather jacket and took off in her brother's 1984 Ford pickup with the license plate number PNB 116. Shortly after, she stopped at a gas station to get $4 worth of gas and couldn't get the truck started. She called her brother, who came by and got the truck started. Gas prices in Oregon in 1990 were around 68 cents per gallon and would have given her about 6 gallons of gas. When Marty left the gas station, her brother watched as she drove west along Oregon Highway 30 towards Astoria, which is about 15 miles away. This was the last time anyone saw Martha Lavonne Benthin Evans. The following day, when she did not turn up, her sister, Linda Benthin Wierup, went to police to file a missing persons report. However, the police were unwilling to file the report and decided she had left town on her own and clearly didn't plan on returning. This is despite the fact that she left wearing only a bridesmaid's dress and a leather jacket and had left her purse locked in the bride's car. This idea was very popular among law enforcement in the 1970s through the early 1990s and was likely based on Marty reportedly being upset at the time she left the gas station. Other than that, there was nothing to suggest she would just leave her 2 children behind with only $4 worth of gas. Linda would later tell KOIN News that law enforcement at the time told her family she had voluntarily disappeared and refused to take a missing person report. No missing person report equals no investigation into someone's disappearance. In fact, it would take 15 years for Marty to be officially listed as missing when Oregon State Police Detective Matt Beeson started looking into her disappearance. Members of Marty's immediate family gave DNA samples to test against any identified remains, but there was no matches found. There are a couple of possibilities for Marty's disappearance. One such possibility is that she misjudged a turn in the road and ended up in one of the many Columbia River sloughs in the area. A slough is typically a swampy area where a nearby body of water overflows into. Since this was in February, the sloughs around the Columbia River in this area would have very deep pockets of dark, murky water. The bottom of the sloughs are very loose and muddy, causing anything of any weight to get completely covered in no time at all. As already noted, she was upset at the time of her disappearance, and she could have easily been distracted and missed a sharp turn and gone off of an embankment. This seems to be the most likely explanation, as the brown Ford pickup she was driving also has never been located. Local residents hold a rumor that a truck of unknown make is at the bottom of one of these sloughs. In 2020, Adventures with a Purpose, a very popular YouTube channel, sent divers to the search of some of the areas where a truck could have gone off the road but was unable to find anything. A link to their video series is in the description. Another possibility of Marty's disappearance is a little more grim, but is speculative and circumstantial. In the early 1990s, a long-haul truck driver by the name of Keith Hunter Jesperson was prowling around. Keith Jesperson was a Canadian-born American serial killer. His victims cover Nebraska, California, Florida, Washington, Oregon, and Wyoming, with a majority of his victims in Oregon. It is possible that he has at least one victim in Canada as well. Jesperson, often referred to as the Happy Face Killer, would pick up hitchhikers and sex workers, strangle them, and then tie their bodies to the bottom of his truck and continue driving to make sure the victim could not be identified. On March 30th, 1995, Jesperson was arrested and charged with 8 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms in prison. In 2010, he was found guilty of another murder in California and received another life sentence. While he was found guilty of 9 total murders, he claims his number to be as high as 160. But Jesperson does claim a lot of things, and most of them have been found to be untrue. Whether Marty is one of the 160 claimed murders is unknown. Marty likely was not hitchhiking at the time of her disappearance, and Jesperson would have had to get rid of the truck she had been driving. The only sure thing is that Jesperson was operating in the area at the time of Marty's disappearance. His first known victim was picked up in Portland, Oregon on January 21st, 1990, only 80 miles away and 20 days before Marty disappeared. The family of Marty do not hold much hope in finding her alive. They do, however, want closure. Linda told Coin News, "There are so many what-ifs. Thousands of what-ifs. You're always looking, always, and you never quit looking. Your heart and your mind tells you to keep right on going." It has been 33 years since Martha Lavonne Benthin Evans disappeared, and police and family are no closer to finding what happened. If you have any information at all, please contact the Oregon State Police at the number listed in the description of this video.